And what was interesting there for me was it was a question that I always wondered, because every time my grandparents sang and my grandfather sang growing up, they would always have that, that note, even playing in a major key. And when I became a musician, obviously that's when I started wondering that, they never sang in like perfect major, like they always sang like that, and so something that I always wondered. The one when I saw him playing there was very interesting. I was like, oh, must be that's what makes the sound of my tribe. But then what was very interesting about this tuning as well is, um, I think last year at some stage I posted this tuning on my Facebook page, and a guy got in touch with me and say this is actually Open D. So I was like, oh no, Open G, sorry, Open G. So it's actually Open G tuning, and that it turns out all the blues musicians, the original bluesmen like John Lee Hooker, Robert Johnson, this is the tuning that they use. And this, I was like, oh, that's very interesting. He said, yeah, actually, he also read somewhere, in the past that that tuning came from somewhere in Africa, but they didn't say exactly where it was. And so obviously, it was very interesting for me. I was like, wow, I just learned about this tuning in my village, and then this guy told me that Open G tuning, and I love and John Lee Hooker and Robert Johnson on that style. I never actually realized that's what they used. So it's interesting, because it's very close to the blues. Sorry. So for me, even playing this, it's I have good goosebumps because the sound is so smell the foods that I grew up with, and so it's an interesting story, because you don't really associate, especially Congolese music. The blues, is more associated with the West Africa, but it's, maybe that's not the whole story about the blues after all. So there you go. That's the story of the um that's the I call it the Yombe tuning, but it's basically just an open G. So D G D G B and D.